Hello, hello, hello. This is AI of Rules channel. My name is Alexander, and today's topic is Hermes agent goes online. So we will take our Hermes agent, which is powered by a local model, and we will let it go outside to the internet for the information we need. Up to this time, we just relied on the training data. So all that bundled and baked in data during the training process helped the model to do the reasoning, and it supported decisions which then were made by human based on what the agent provided it with, what kind of analysis and reasoning so far. So that will change now. We will plug several additional tools into this process to let Hermes agent to actually access fresh and up-to-date information. As always, let's just take a swift glance at the diagram. Okay, so here is it. It's kind of containing a lot of elements, but the main ones I have marked by those stars. Okay, so let's just take a look at the first star there. Right, the first one, I meant the first one which is visually detected. That's it for me, right? So everything starts with the Hermes agent. And what happens in case an agent is tasked with finding some kind of information, looking answer for a question? Hermes agent follows this path to go and to understand which skills it has to do particular task, right? As you can see, it goes here by this arrow to the item number 2, although there is an item number 1, which was kind of preloaded when the agent started to just list all the tools as an index so that agent knows what it works with. So agent goes and finds particular skill which helps it to look for an answer, and then it gets that particular tool information and like plan back so that it can act on it. Okay, so step 1, agent is launched. Step 2, agent understands which skills it needs to complete the task. And star number 3 points to web search tool. Star number 4 to browser navigate. So web search means that the agent needs to come up with a searchable query and then paste it somewhere to actually get a list of URLs to then parse and extract answer from. So this web search tool, it can be backed by multiple engines. It may be a brief search engine, a fire search engine. In our case, this is a SearXNG plugin. So it's essentially a bundle of multiple search engines together, and it throws queries there and it gets responses with the list of URLs to then parse through. Important point is that web search tool is attempted at the step 1 here. At the step 2, then each URL is passed through browser navigate tool. And again, this browser navigate tool is like an umbrella for backends. And there might be multiple backends. The simplest from those backends is terminal backend, like curl command. Like there is a URL, and what is easier to just apply curl to fetch its contents, right? So that's the very basic level. We will be using Camofox tool, like it's indicated here as a Camofox wrapper, just for the sake of making a distinction between the JavaScript wrapper around a Camofox technology, which allows to spawn a local headless Chromium compatible browser, and to then browse it as the human being will do. Okay, so the overall logic is to make use of the same Hermes agent with a local LLM, and then inside the web search tool to use SearXNG for the search, like, and browser navigate tool, and behind it under the hood to use Camofox to actually browse pages. Okay. For that, we will jump straight into the terminal to actually go and install all those things. Currently, we have only Hermes agent, right? And that's where I can show you here. That's a remainder from my previous tests here. So let's see what it does if it doesn't have access to those specific backends. So SearXNG for search and Camofox for browser navigation. Currently, I created a profile which is called Everyday Assistant, which doesn't have access to these tools. So profile list, right? So just to remind you, every profile is created as some kind of a command so that it can be supplied with the options, the same options as Hermes command itself. So here I do chat, right? And I'm just going to ask it a question. A question about given the tips on Python development based on the lessons learned in 2026. The key here is to make it like push it towards the search, toward finding the up-to-date information, which is different from its baked-in data. Okay. Let's give it a couple of moments. I hope to initialize and then to act. Okay, so it took some minutes. Yeah, 1 minute and 43 seconds to actually come up with an answer and see what it shows. It says, I do not have a web search tool in this session, but I can draw deep in my knowledge of the Python ecosystem of the early 2025. Okay, so this time the agent was actually very concise and truthful in explaining that it doesn't have web search tool. In other testing sessions, which I definitely conducted before this video, it tried to use approaches like come up with a common sense website which may have this kind of information, and then use curl to fetch the listings of the pages, maybe tags, and try to figure out which URL provides this kind of information. So that's like several approaches agent might have attempted. Here, it just provided me with the baked-in knowledge and told that, yeah, this is what I have. I could not search in the internet. Well, okay. Then, as the next step, we will go ahead and we will install SearXNG and Camofox tools inside the containers, not Docker, but Podman controlled containers. And then we will attach them into our Hermes agent and we will retry the same question. Stay tuned. Okay, so we do this on Ubuntu Server 24.04, and Hermes version you can see 0.18.2. I have actually updated it today to just get the updated version. Today is July 15th. Okay. Now, important thing to mention is that we do this on the server with NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090, this kind of a based card with 32 gigs of VRAM. And the first thing, of course, is to go into update Ubuntu, then to install specific packages. By the way, all the elements of this instruction, I will make sure to post it into our GitHub repository so that you can open like a README file instruction and then follow and replicate this flow and hopefully these achievements as well. Go. So you can see it was already up to date. Okay, that's thankfully to the previous testings today on the same machine. Now we go and check what's up with Podman, if it's running, if it's not. So Podman version, Podman compose version, Podman info. The previous command should have installed them all. Okay, so we have something. For the sake of the record, the Podman version is 4.9.3. Okay, let's go further, and we need to do some configuration for the daemon, which allows the processes which were launched by a specific user to survive when the user logs out. Like, I will essentially log out from this machine once I'm done, but if I need the service like Hermes or SearXNG or Camofox to be up and running for someone else, for another user on this machine to connect and to use my Hermes, then I will need to enable lingering so that the processes launched by this user are actually surviving my logout. Okay, now we'll create directory for containers and we will cd into it. It's currently empty. You can see here we will store the configuration and the actual source of SearXNG and Camofox, which we will download in a minute. Okay, let's start with SearXNG. That's how it's pronounced. SearXNG. Let's go. We create directory structure for it. Inside containers, SearXNG and then config. And then we cd into that newly created directory. It's still empty for now. Now, what we will do, we will provide SearXNG with an internal signing key. That's what it requires. So that's the reason of generating this string. Now let's do the real thing. Let's supply it with the config. So when SearXNG starts, it loads a Docker compatible image, and it still needs settings. So what we do, we provide it with some specific settings we care for, right? And then it will know to mount these settings when it comes up. Okay, settings, and I'm just copying this key. So do not bother. It's not a security issue here. This instance is bound to localhost only, I was going to say, and now I will enforce that. Okay, cool. So that's the settings for it. And now how we will bring this container up? By creating compose YAML file. That's what our Podman will use to actually instantiate SearXNG along with all its services. So there are two services, SearXNG and Valkey. That's the actual search engine, and that's the Redis compatible engine, Valkey, to just keep track of the number of requests which are coming through SearXNG, to not to overload the upstream search providers like Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, and so on and so forth, as long as there are multiple agents which are trying to hammer SearXNG with requests. So it will rather get answers from cache than send it to Google, or it will just rate limit them to not to overwhelm upstream search engines. Okay, so at the first glance, that's okay. At the second glance, I think it's okay as well. Right, we will need to make note of this URL to later insert it into environment file for Hermes agent. But so far, it looks good to me. Okay, now let's tell Podman to up this container. Yeah, so exit code 0. It seems to be up, no errors. Okay, that's nice to see. Now let's check services like PS, Podman compose PS. We see both containers are up. Okay, and these are logs. So that's not a problem. I mean, these couple of errors, it's just a failure to register a particular search engine. And it just points that there is no limiter file. I do not need that since I know that for now, a single instance of an agent will access this machine. Okay, so that's fine. I will just stop the logs display, but containers are live. Now, let's test it. Let's test it by throwing curl request to SearXNG engine. That's fine. Says 200 OK. And the next test is to just go and search for something like search for Ubuntu plus Podman and display the results. So we can see this engine return the results to us. Okay. So here is thumbnail, here is a URL. So okay, we're going good, and this is the engine which returned this response, Google CSE. Now, the search part is done. Now we can make agent, go ask something through a search engine, and get a list of URLs. We see how this looks like on the output side. Now, let's use Camofox as something which can take that URL and browse through as a real human will do. Let's go back to our containers directory. Now we have only Camofox in here. We do. Oh, only SearXNG. We do. Now let's clone Camofox browser into it. May take some time depending on the connection bandwidth. Yep. Now, I know for a fact that this is x86 architecture in here. If you work on your Mac, you may get like a different result, like ARC64. And I will just use make fetch to actually download the Camofox binary. So let's make a distinction here. Camofox is a wrapper, which works on top of Camofox binary and technique to actually smooth, I don't want to say conceal, but smooth the fact that this is an agent operating this browser, not a human being. Okay, I'll pause it to let it download. Okay, it was downloaded successfully. Now, there is an interesting trick. If I try to build the image based on this Docker file, which is bundled into this repository, I found that for particular revision and version, it fails because of the discrepancy between the JavaScript wrapper dependencies and the actual binary. So I think that wrapper writes some kind of a config file option, which is not recognized by the binary, and then there is a conflict, binary freaks out and just doesn't work. Camofox doesn't go up. So in order to correct that, I will need to do a manual fix into this file. So I'll find the copy directive. Okay, the one which is then followed by run npm install production. I'll go and command them. And instead, I will paste these instructions. You can see the difference. It's supply and package log JSON as well. And it runs it with npm CI omit dev instead of npm install production. So that was the fix which worked for me to make Camofox run in Podman. Now I can build it. Mine the architecture. Okay. Right, that was so fast because I have previously built it before. So it might take a minute or two or even 3-5 for you. Now, yeah, I need to create a persistent storage and secret. That's a very good technique to actually save on repeated requests and also to make your sessions actually operate by agent seem genuine and continuous by whatever website you contact, so that it's not a new request, like new cookie or new identifier each time when agent fires its request. It's just a continuation of the same session, essentially the mimic of what the person will do, like the person's browser will do. Okay, so in order for that to play out properly, I'll need to create several directories. They are data profiles, data cookies, data traces. Okay, and then I'll also generate that particular string, and here it will be used both by compose file when I run Camofox inside Podman and by Hermes. Hermes will need to authenticate using that secret properly. Okay, so I've got it here. Now I'll need to create an end file, and I'll need to supply this end file with a particular variable Camofox secret with the actual secret, Yes, okay, like that. Now, I'll protect it from other users, like just wanted to say me and you, but only me can actually read it, all right? And compose file, okay? So compose file helps to bring that Podman container up. Yeah, okay, Camofox. So at the first glance, it looks good. Our local image, our bind for the local port and local IP. This is the access and API key. They inherit the value of Camofox environment variable we have just plugged into .env file. These are volumes, see, and they are based on the data directories we have previously created. So they persist from launch to launch. One agent can launch, in 10 minutes another agent can launch, and it will use the same profiles, cookies, and traces. That's what we were aiming for. And let's make it up. Acted code 0. That was fast. Let's use PS. Okay, container is running. Oh, it's starting. Okay. Then maybe we will be able to catch some starting logs. No, it's done. So the good indicator is browser pre-warmed, so that's fine. Now Camofox launched, and several other plugins launched as well. So that's cool. Let's test it. I can safely do the Control-C in here. Just a cool trick, Podman PS, and it will show all the containers or the services it knows about, not only the ones from a particular compose file. So we see Camofox browser and SearXNG with its services. Okay, let's test Camofox now. Okay, it responded just like a health test. And yeah, I'll need to also test like the authenticated capability, which is hidden behind the authentication. So what I do, I source and file I've just created, and I send it with like authorization bearer token. Okay, it returned, running through, tabs, fine. That's good. Now, when we have these services, we finally need to use them through Hermes Agent, of course. Next step is to add something to current active Hermes profile. I could have done that by rerunning the setup and then pointing the search to SearXNG and the browser to Camofox, but I won't do that. That takes more time, and time is precious. So what I will do, I will just use everyday assistant config edit. So I get the familiar Vim interface. If you don't, then you need to export editor equal to and then path to your Vim software here. And then you'll get Vim if you want it, of course. So there is a specific and minimalistic configuration you'll need to plug in. I have it ready. So it's fab in here. And browser too. So search backend, SearXNG, cloud provider is Camofox, all good, right? Managed persistence true. Now just WQ and hit save. Cool. Now we have it in Hermes configuration, and one more thing remained. I need to go into this profiles directory, and I need to also give it specific environment variables for Correct. For SearXNG URL, for Camofox URL, and for Camofox access key or API key. Let's see what is the correct name of this variable. Okay. Okay, so correct name is Camofox API key, right? And that was the latest secret I have generated. Yes, for Camofox. Okay. I'll just remove that unnecessary space. So that's fine. Okay, cool. I think we're quite ready to test this out. So let's do that. Here is this same session we had before. I'll terminate it. And then I will restart it to make sure that the end file was read correctly. Okay. Now I will ask it the same question. Please provide me with best practices for Python development based on 2026 lessons learned. In addition, I think I will just launch the log tailing for those two services I've installed, Camofox and SearXNG. Okay, so that was it, and I'm also tailing these logs, like command is podman logs -f --name SearXNG Camofox browser in here. And let's see what happens now. Agent is initializing, and there are not too many logs. I'll pause it to give it some time. Yeah, so it actually works. So it's searched 3 particular headlines, Python development best practices, and so on. And there are new error logs, so that was the gap I have spaced. That doesn't mean the search engine is not working. It's just particular search engine's responses, maybe due to timeouts, maybe due to too many requests, but the other agent was able to respond successfully. And yeah, now fetch. Okay, fetch agent attempted to do the fetch using the same engine, SearXNG. It was reminded that SearXNG is a search-only backend. So now I expect the agent to employ Camofox to actually do the browsing. Let's give it some time. Okay, finally, there was a hiccup in my local AI model, and it plain refused to navigate to the URLs it found, but now I cajoled it to do so. Here is the log from Camofox. So we see that this was a navigation to this URL, the same URL, then another URL, dasroot.net. So, okay. Here, it searched and then it navigated. Okay, that's cool. Now it's doing what I expected it to do. Use the tools I provided it with. I'll give it some time to put together the answer before we continue to the summary and conclusions. Okay, so it produced an answer. So you can see it's a more versatile answer than before. It says it searched across the latest Python development guidance. Okay, so it provided the changes, why that one, best practices. Then it enumerated those best practices, even provided, I think I've seen samples of code. That was TOML probably, log output. Yeah, okay, so that's quite an answer as well. Cool. Okay, so that brings us to the conclusions, to what we have gained installing those tools and attaching it to a Hermes agent. Why web access mattered in that case? Because we were able to get fresh data to coexist alongside the training data, which Hermes agent had already inherited it from LLM, right? The reason number 2 is that it's possible now for it to reason on the data it it acquired. Plus, I might have a choice to indicate that instead of using the training data only, you use internet accessible data only. So that's also a different approach to the reasoning and to actual flow of decision making. It might have reasoned over what it had, it baked in data, then reason over the internet accessible data and then merge it, not merge the data and reason on the merged data, but reason separately and then merge the reasoning. And the point number three is this up-to-date information provided the up-to-date view for better decision making. Because as I see AI and LLM-powered agent, it's providing support for decision making for the human being to actually take the direction. Since agent is very good in pulling a lot of information in parallel streams and then compacting it, processing it, making some kind of bullet points there so that human being can actually choose the direction there. Okay, so that was video Hermes Agent Gets Online. You were on AI Off Rules channel. My name is Alexander. Stay tuned.